I think they are. Yep.
UH is building a new stadium on the campus.
It's awesome. I remember. I mean, mine was Nick Rolovich.
Yep.
I heard about Colt Brennan. That hits.
Yeah.
What a tragedy.
Yeah. Very.
Sorry on that one. That one. I mean, he really Timmy, Colt, Rolovich. I mean, they really brought UH football to the media back in the day. I remember when I was at the game. Timmy was playing, and we were going against Alabama.
You cut it out a bit, Steve.
Everyone loved that. Everyone, Denver.
No, I remember that game again. They play Alabama.
Yeah.
So close.
Yep.
So close.
Steve's driving somewhere fun. When you got plenty of stuff in your car.
It's all baseball Little League gear.
I was gonna say, it looks like it's like a whole sports store. Like you just robbed a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Right. I got the gloves, got the baseballs, got the hitting. Oh yeah, I got everything. Weather's ugly right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about ugly weather? Washington's like downpour rain, yeah?
Non-stop.
Driving through it right now.
Yeah, no fun. Let's all go back to Vegas. Only 110 degrees.
Oh my God. I would melt. I start melting at like 65 degrees. That would kill. I would, 110.
Actually, a really nice day. It's not too hot.
Yeah.
Like
I can tell when I'm
97.
getting close to Hawaii, when I'm on the airplane, because I start sweating as I'm getting close. Like, we must be getting close, because it just starts dripping off my bald head.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Where are you at, Steve? Your service is awful, man. You're cutting out.
I'm going through Woodinville.
That's
I'm taking the back routes. Yeah, taking the back routes.
Got to stop by those wineries and distilleries up there.
I should actually.
Oh,
network.
We should call it winery talk. Forget the coffee talk. Let's go get some wine.
Right.
We'll do a meetup at a brewery.
All of those are good.
We'll do
Very
it all.
cool.
How's the market looking for you guys?
It's interesting. I mean, the market took a hit, just like we thought, like everyone was thinking it would. Market took a hit. It dropped today dramatically. It's interesting though. I mean, long-term deals, if you have people in long-term loans, I'd have them float. Don't lock them in. Wait it out. They're expecting it to get better. If it's short-term, like someone's in a contract right now, I'd probably lock them Monday. Because I know they're saying permits and housing construction is still way below what they thought. So that's keeping the market hungry. I don't know. What are you guys running into on your side? I saw you just did that big purchase.
Which purchase?
The 100.
Yeah, the one in Vegas, I believe.
Yeah.
The 8 unit is not too big, but the 158 is still in motion. So it's not, my computer's having issues. I think I'm gonna have to go buy a new computer, which means I get to go to the Apple store today, which is
Apple. That's why.
Hey, nice.
Oh, Apple is the way to go. What are you still using?
Steve,
I was gonna say Apple. Apple's the only way to go.
Steve
Just
is
wanna get business done.
Steve, that's why the service. I figured you're on AT&T, Steve. AT&T Apple. You ain't people. Come on, guys.
My partner would say it's okay if you don't like Apple. Some people like to go slower.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Nice.
Where's the eject button here? No.
Apple works.
Richie, don't go speaking
far
up.
behind.
We know you're not Apple too.
Well,
Awesome.
why don't let's get started, guys. Happy Aloha Friday, and thanks again for jumping on. I might mute in between, and Kiko, you might need to take lead because there's construction going on here at the office somewhere, so it's a little loud. But hope everybody had a great week. And today we're just gonna have another roundtable discussion. I think there's a lot of kind of news to go over, and I'm glad Steve's on again so we can chat about it, see if what's going on with the interest rates. But yesterday we had our NPLA meeting, and it's always interesting to hear because a lot of the people in the association are tied into politics and the finance world over there, which is usually where you get the breaking news, you know. So yesterday they were talking about how the Fed they're seeing the position that we're in right now as stagflation, which I had to do some research. It's a form of inflation, and the Fed are saying that basically it's the cause. We're experiencing kind of like the results from pausing the economy last year. And let me just read some of my notes. So they feel we're in like a stagflation economy, not caused by demand inflation, and the Fed feels that it will work itself out. Because I know that inflation rates came out, I think yesterday. I can't recall, but and it was at 5%, right? So it was the biggest, I think, increase in 13 years. So, but the Fed came back and they're kind of saying that it's a different form of inflation. Apparently, it's referred to as stagflation. So what we're seeing kind of in the hard money space is some of the major capital providers are now requiring a 20% contingency in the borrower's renovation budgets, whereas before it was 10%. So they're trying to put measures in place to protect the lender and the capital, which may make it a little harder for us, right? Because 10% is a decent sized jump in a budget. Hopefully that won't kill, deals or make it harder to be competitive to make offers in the marketplace. According to the Fed minutes, they're looking to buy less paper, which that in turn could result in interest rates going up. But they also said that there's lots of cash in the marketplace, so which may counteract this. So basically, what I got from it is everyone just has a big question mark over their head on where this market's going to go and where the economy is going to take us. So does anybody have any comments about the recent data showing the inflation increase at about 5% now?
I think you nailed it, Corey. There is a big question mark going on right now. Long-term experts, I mean, everyone's waiting on Powell. The Fed chair is going to be doing an announcement, I believe next week, Wednesday. A lot of the markets are not happy with him because he's not going yes or no. He's kind of playing the gray market. He's like, well, we're looking at easing, looking at, the tapering of the market. Unemployment's going really well. We have a lot of jobs out there for people to go and get job wise. So that is scaring a lot of people in the market. They're like, all right, are they going to start, easing early? Everyone's saying they're not going to, they're going to keep easing, rates are going to stay low for the rest of the year, maybe even to 2022. But the way Powell's been talking is scaring people. Because he's not giving us a hard yes, hard no. He's just, dancing. So that's causing, like you're saying, that's causing people to hedge their bets to protect themselves a little more reserves. At the same time, I'm saying we're seeing a lot of the third-party loan markets and custom loan packages. We're seeing a lot of that come back. So they wouldn't come back unless they thought there was a market where they could make money and they'd be comfortable with doing these loans. And evidently someone's going to be buying some of these unique loans. So the third party broker, like I'm looking to see, like one of the loan areas I want to really target would be marijuana houses, marijuana shops. That was something before COVID hit that was starting to come out where they're looking at doing loans for these cash heavy businesses. That I'm expecting that to come back, and that will be a market that can be tapped, taken advantage of. If you have folks with a lot of liquid equity right now, and they want to look at some new avenues. Pot shops are probably going to be one of the big ones. Yeah, the interest rate that it did come in a lot higher than we thought, and then they had the housing market. They're showing, I think we're down 13% in new houses being built right now, and then also permits for building and developing was also low. So that was a big, that hits the whole supply demand. They're throwing in lumber because lumber costs are so high. They're still trying to build, bring in more employees so the lumber market can catch up again. But yeah, our experts, everyone is saying, don't lock today. I mean, especially today would be a bad day. Float, lock your loan, early next week. And if you're in long-term deals, don't look at locking for a while. Float it out, wait it out. Yeah, I mean, I know those are the big bulletins that we got hit with today. I'm likely going to do a video once I get home, kind of recap some of it, but yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, thanks for always sharing, Steve. It's always good to be in the know on the retail loan side, or what the costs are. And does anybody else have anything about or has been following the news that came out on inflation? Or are they seeing anything in your current markets? I know the Honolulu market, the median price went up to $978, I believe. So not as quite of an increase from the last results that were shared, but still a substantial increase in the last few months for sure. Matt, what about you? You got any? Do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, inflation in general has really just been scaring a lot of people. For the most part, we saw a lot of increases last week and going into this week as far as inflation, but I was expecting more of a response, I would say. I was expecting once that report came out at 5%, I was thinking things were going to go haywire, and kind of like what you were talking about, it's more of a tapered off approach. So I don't know what they're trying to do on the back end. Hopefully that's going to help everyone out and not just do a massive increase in inflation, but overall it's so volatile. It's hard to say one way or another because it's changing every day. One thing that did stand out to me is lumber went down today quite a bit. Certainly it's still 250% compared to what it was last spring, but it did drop about $60 per 1,000 feet of lumber. So we're going in the right direction. Right now per 1,000 feet, it's just over $1,000, and just 3 months ago it was at $1,700 per 1,000 feet. So we're moving there, we're getting there. I think that's increasing we're seeing that decrease from the supply chain fixing finally. So
is that what they're saying is the cause of that? Is the supply chain is actually starting to repair, or?
Yeah, at least I only read one article about it. I was going to dive into more, but that one was talking about the supply chain increasing, or just increasing the amount they're able to go through. So that's decreasing the prices.
Yeah, and that's what that's what they're referring to as stagflation, is just the result of the pausing the economy and then having to remobilize everything, especially, maybe supply chains that take a little bit longer to kind of you see the results from. So it's almost like the perfect storm where there's really strong demand and low supply. And now then the price of lumber goes up substantially, which I guess with some builders makes some projects unfeasible. But I just had a conversation, and perhaps, I mean, I had to think about this after I had this conversation with a potential client yesterday when, he was asking about, what happens if, the cost of materials goes up substantially during my project and stuff. And I said, well, you should always have some sort of contingency in your budget. And I also said, like, if the cost of materials going up like that much affects your deal, then the deal is probably too tight, because I don't think the cost of materials is going to go up that fast where you lose margins and you start to go into the red. But then I have to think to myself, it's like, well, these are uncertain times, and the cost of lumber has gone up substantially. I still feel that you should still be able to, have some sort of margin in there. But yeah, it's uncharted waters that we're in. And so how do we navigate? I think we navigate by having calls like this. So it's great to hear everyone's opinion. Sorry, Steve, I think I cut you off. What were you saying?
Make sure I'm not muted. I was going to say, Matt, you may know him, Eric Shue. He is actually a lumber salesman. He and his dad sell lumber up here in Washington, where they broker it. And the biggest, it was just similar. The industry is similar to gas, and how gas prices dramatically went up, well as supply and demand. During COVID, you had a lot of people weren't working, a lot of people weren't driving. Same with lumber side of it. A lot of the workers, no one was working. So now they're bringing these workers in. Now that people are getting vaccinated, they are able to bring in the workers to get the lumber industry going again while they're producing lumber. We didn't have as big of a need or demand. We do now, and they're just catching up. The biggest reason why we had the height was just the lumber yards did not have workers. Everyone was out of business, unemployed. Now that it's ramping up, people are coming back to work. Also, some of the states, they're dropping unemployment. They're like, nope, we're cutting off your unemployment. Go get a job. So I think we're going to see a quicker turnaround than what was projected, because people are having to go get jobs, and a lot of these people are going to go back to the jobs they had before, which will benefit the lumber industry. Yeah, so it's a huge positive there. One thing I'm curious on, because I had one of my clients, we refinanced him a few months ago, and he contacted me. They're selling. They want to sell and move to Texas. And this is probably the fifth person in the last 2 weeks I've had told me the same thing. And I was curious if you guys are running into that exodus, because I know Matt and I have talked. And there's a lot of people they're wanting to leave Washington and move to Arizona or Texas. Texas seems to be the big one. Are you guys running into that also in like places like Hawaii?
Or Idaho. Hearing that one a lot too.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard of anything like an exodus from Hawaii, but what is the reason? Because of taxes?
Taxes and politics, typically.
Yeah, taxes and politics. Those are the two big ones that we're seeing.
It's like California then.
Yeah. And I mean, these are, well, it's funny because we have a lot of the techies from California
right,
are buying the houses, out in the boonies here in Washington. And part of their, lifestyle, I guess you could say, is pushing some of these people. I don't know if it's mental. People are just believing, hogwash nowadays, but it's legit. We're having people that are selling. They're like, we want out now. Mm-hmm. We want to go to Texas. So that is, I've been running into it a lot in my area. Granite Falls, I mean, the price of housing is just skyrocketing for such a like hick town, boom, rural area. But the value of houses, it's just continuing to climb. It's climbing quicker than like Bellevue, King County area, in my opinion.
Well, Jarred's moving to Texas, so he's jumped on the bandwagon. If Jared's got big land,
Smart.
I'm moving next to him, man. It's so cheap down there. It's great.
See, that's what I'm hearing. Nice. That's
Well,
what we need to do.
We actually see that from a lot of investors too. I think Texas is turning out to be a great place to invest. And so a lot of people are looking down there. And then Vegas is a nice one because of no corporate income tax and no sales and no personal income state tax, and then no corporate income tax. So, you know, I think a lot of people are realizing through Zoom that you don't have to work where you live and you don't have to live where you work. So it's like, where do you want to live? What's cheaper? What has great education? And what kind of gives you the lifestyle you want? And I mean, it's hard to beat Texas. I mean, Texas has so many great amenities. And I mean, I was just there a couple of weeks ago. Corey and I and the team were there, and then my in-laws live there, moved from Hawaii. And I mean, your money goes so far. It's unbelievable. And I mean, until we left Hawaii, I didn't realize milk was under $9 a gallon. It's like, wow, look at this. You can actually get them for, you know, $1. And Lucky Charms isn't $7 a box. Like they have them at sale at Target at $1.99 from time to time, you know, but, you know, until you start traveling the world, you don't realize how cheap places can get. Is that true, Jared?
Yeah, we're certainly kind of moving to a ritzier part of Texas, but still, I mean, I can have what I look at as a $2 million spread for $700,000, you know?
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And you're totally right about, you know, gas and groceries, all those things. You know, my life gets cheaper there and I get to live bigger. I mean, it's pretty easy analysis, really.
Yeah. Well, and the schools are great. I mean, they take football serious. So every one of their high schools have like it makes Aloha Stadium look like I don't know, slumlord backyard stadium when you go to Texas and you're like, holy smokes, that's a junior high? That's crazy.
Dude, it's a gnarly cult following. It's pretty crazy high school football in Texas. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law both went to Permian. So like Friday Night Lights is in Odessa, Texas. That's where my wife's from. And he drove 3.5 hours every Friday of football season because he wouldn't get rid of his season tickets. He drove 3.5 hours for the last 30 years since he graduated there to go to every single football game on Friday night. It is no joke. No joke.
And you're 100% spot on. It's a cult following for sure. They do tailgating like we do New Year's parties, you know, kind of a thing. You're like, you haven't been to a tailgate until you've done Texas style tailgate. So we're all coming down, Jared, during football season. You better throw us a good tailgate party.
Let's go. Pool's ready.
Where in Texas, Jared? Like
I'm moving to Frisco area.
By Dallas?
Yeah. It's like Frisco's like the town that Jerry Jones built, basically. Cowboys headquarters there and their training facility, all that. It's a cool place.
The Stars are there too.
Oh yeah.
Everything's right in Frisco. Frisco, Plano. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Well, why don't we go into our Lee's needs and good deeds? So does anybody have any deals that they're looking to acquire right now, need financing or have financing that want to get into some deals? I'm curious to hear what everyone's working on, especially since we have a light room today.
Well, Corey, you mind me jumping in?
Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, you know, I like what you guys all saying. Thank you. You know, just so excited, especially talking about Texas. Because I was on the phone with my realtor yesterday. I got 3 properties out there. I said, should I dump it? Should I dump it? And you know what you guys telling me and what he's telling me is no, hold it. It's a beautiful place. And you know, I'm in Lake Conroe. If you guys know the area, Lake Conroe and Montgomery and Springs. So you know, I hear we put on fireworks shows that I haven't even seen yet for the last 15 years, you know, but it's okay, you know what I mean? And, you know, you guys talking about the cost of living. I mean, right, we're here in Hawaii, but I'm tasting Oregon the last 5 years and, you know, paying $1 milk or $1 for chicken. And you know the cost for milk and chicken out in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
You know, but not saying go and trade it Hawaii for, but you know, we can go back and forth. But but the deal I'm working on, and I just got approval, it's a 2.5 acre, I don't know, small home, 2,000, but I'm gonna be able to split it, split that land to 1 acre and build a home on it. And, they say the area is 300, worth 800,000 on to build everything like 500. So I'm new at that game. So maybe if somebody can give me an outlet and tell me what to do. I mean, I got approval to do it just as we were speaking. I got the you are approved. We can put in an offer, but
Nice.
yeah. So I mean, as an investor, how you guys look at a property, buy it, split it, and what kind of profits you guys look at to doing a deal? What is a good profit on doing a deal?
Well, are you own the land already, Ron?
Well, that's why we're gonna put in
Oh,
that
you're-
offer. Yeah, so, but right now there was a deal that fell through, so, they have it below market value, so, but I gotta watch out. That's why you guys gotta help me. I mean, do I offer, do I offer it at the cost, or do I offer, hey, a little less, percent less, and no matter what, I know I pre-qualified for the sale cost, right? So.
Right. And so what is the plan, to buy, build, and sell, or buy, build, and hold it?
Yeah, but basically buy, split the land because it's already splitted. The cost is all there. Then hold one side and sell the other. So,
Okay.
because I've been investing for years, small time. That's why I said, listen to you guys. Yeah, we but small is eight units is small. It's like what? And it's like, I gotta hang with you guys more. And what, you're in a deal for 100 billion, So like we said, right, Corey, we met 2 years ago. So I do own a business, so that takes a lot of my time. But I'm back on this real estate investment journey again. So.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, that's the idea is buy and hold on one side and then probably sell so I can build more capital. So,
Yeah.
so
I can help you out, Ron. Maybe we'll get on a call later and I'll get more information and see if there's anybody here on the call that I feel like would be good to connect you with. I'll put you guys in touch for sure. That's what we're all about.
Okay, great.
Glad to see you on, man.
Yeah. No, thank you guys, man. So but yeah, I'm here, Corlina, enjoy my my
Day off.
timeshare. Yeah. We just got back home. We was in Oregon for almost a month, so so.
Oh, good.
That's a good thing with options, right? That's what we all want, right? Option. You talk about traveling the world, right, Mr. Kikoa? Look how young you guys. It's like I'm an old man, and I wish I had you guys' mind, your mindset at your age. So awesome.
Yeah, Ron's being I respect you in business, what you've built, and it's an installation business, right?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest in the island. So
yeah. So well,
we have a lot to learn from you, brother.
Yeah, it's like when millions come through you and you can't stop it from going through you're doing something wrong, right? Yeah.
I think we've all felt that pain.
Yeah, but like I shared with Corey, was nice because I was able to buy part of the building that I'm in, so coming home from Oregon to get a check. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it's still, a minimum wage person's average years you work, right? You get it from that one deal, and that wasn't the first check, that was the second check. It's like, man, I should have went real estate years ago.
Yeah.
But no, never too old.
But
I got grandkids now, so the legacy can go on. So thanks a lot for letting me join. I talk too much, guys, so
no worries, man.
Yeah, but
oh yeah.
But I like how you got guys on the call that following the market too. So paper assets, right? You gotta, we got paper assets, we got IPO assets. I don't know. I just gotta turn it to green. How we turn it to green? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, right on, Ron. Does anybody else have anything that they need? Any good deeds to talk about?
I got a buddy that I've been coaching on basically building out his systems to where he doesn't take so much time away from his life and investing. And he's found a niche through this that I'm a little bit I'm a little bit lost in. So he's doing some contract for deed stuff outside of Kansas City and some neighborhoods that are like highly Hispanic Latino communities where they run a lot of cash and don't have a lot of financing. So he's really he's finding a bunch of deals where he's taking them subject to, and then he's selling them on contracts to these people. And now he's basically, with that strategy, shopping for some financing long-term on those deals rather than taking the contract, as is, and then just kind of moving the paper. He's looking to better finance those things. And then sell the contract. And I'm like, bro, I know a lot of things about real estate, and every bit about this conversation is over my head. But I know some people who might be able to get some financing for you. And I'm wondering if anybody's got a connection as to how he pulls that financing piece together. I actually just invited him into the Facebook group, and he's outside in the rain at one of those houses in Kansas City right now, or he'd be on the call for himself. I was like, bro, I'm jumping on a call in like 20 minutes. I'll ask the group, see if we got any ideas.
That's so funny.
Is he selling them to the end user as far as the Latino family, or is he leasing it to them like a for sale by owner almost kind of thing?
Yeah, so he's basically selling the houses to them on a contract, right? So like on
sounds like Lance. Sounds like what Lance does.
Yeah.
Lance was just on a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago, and he does this in Dallas.
Okay.
Pretty large scale. And in fact, I'm supposed to get on a call with him over the weekend or sometime today to talk about financing for it. So the problem is I don't quite understand it entirely yet, but there is a possibility that we can do something like that. It'll have to be off like a private line that we're trying to secure. Okay. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think if I understand it fully and in depth, we can try to see how we can help in that area. If I find out how we can help Lance, because it sounds like the same thing that he's doing out there. Has he done it before, your friend?
Yeah, he's done multiple of them, but he hasn't looked at kind of scaling past like 3, 4, 5 deals that he's got going on, and then because of that not being able to find financing, then he starts selling them for cash, putting them on the market. But he really feels like it's almost like a service need in that community where they can't go get financing, but he can provide that, and the paper keeps coming. So he's really looking for an option. He's a rock solid dude, and he's just looking for an option for them so he can kind of scale and continue to give more of those people houses that need that. I mean, last week he closed one, and this dude brought $20,000 in, actually $16,000 in $20 bills to the closing table. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, dude. And so like, that's kind of the community he's in, but he sees a need. I mean, when he closes on one of these houses, when he takes the paper over, he puts a sign in the front yard, and he's got people driving by constantly, making them offers on it on a constant basis. Today he closed on another one, and he's like cleaning the gutters, and he had 3 people stop in and give him offers that are like, $10,000 to $20,000 down payment to kind of replace his capital plus some. But he really wants to find a financing option so he can start to stack them up.
Right. What's the price point on the doors he's buying?
The cheapest one, I figured that might be an issue when we first talked. The cheapest one that he's done was like $80,000, but most of them are between 120 and 220, somewhere in there.
Okay,
let me see if I can understand this correctly. So your friend buys a property and subject to contract for deed, right?
Yep.
And the bank is aware of this?
Bank is aware of it. The ones that he's done so far, he's kind of reached the ceiling. So the ones that he's done so far that he's sold the note again, those ones he's basically done with a line of credit that he has from his bank. So he's looking at being able to get past that line of credit and have a permanent financing solution where he can get rid of the subject to, get rid of that paper, and then basically sell it on a contract to somebody else.
Got it. So he buys it sub to, and then he sells the property as the lender as well.
Yep.
So the new buyer, and he sells according to his guidelines, right? However he wants to qualify these people, Lance, his biggest thing was the down payment.
Yeah.
Somebody who maybe can't qualify for a conventional loan or something for whatever reason comes to him and does almost like an owner finance deal, right? So they pay your friend the monthly debt service,
Yep.
so the mortgage, and then your friend pays the bank, right?
Correct. Yep.
If the new owner, the buyer, doesn't perform and misses payments, he can initiate the foreclosure.
Yep.
He's in first position.
Yep.
So he forecloses, it takes the property back, and then sells it again to someone else, or maybe he just sells it.
He's buying subject
Correct.
to the first position, right? He's wrapping the bank note. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So he's going to be in second position, not first position, where whoever's got the bank note. And then what he's looking to do is find a financing option to get the current note off, have it in his name, and then be able to sell it to them. So that he'll still be in second position. You heard that right, Daniel.
So they want to swap out first position.
Yep.
So what is the play here? Is it more of like a cash flow play because he makes a difference between what he's paying the bank and what he's charging the buyer in their terms? Yep.
Correct. He's kind of doing it on both sides. So like on that last one, he threw a total of like $8,000 into it, and they doubled his cash on the front end. So they brought $16,000 in cash to the deal. So he's making a little bit on the front end, and he's making a little bit, on the monthly. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Is there a reason why he wants to sell the bank? Because the bank money is probably be super cheap, right? So, I mean, if I was him, I would want to keep that low interest rate that a bank is already in place, versus trying to come with like a private lender to swap the bank out. I mean, just your thoughts on his decision to try and bring in a private lender to swap out that cheap money,
Mm.
Yeah, like I said, this is literally brand new to me, so I get that. I probably need him to come here and answer those questions. That's what he put it to me, is he's like, I'm looking for a lender so where I can kind of scale this, but that might be a very, very good question to kind of give him back. Like, why are you trying to do that?
Well, I mean, maybe if he's scaling, he just needs a big fund to buy the houses. I mean, for the fix and flip portion, right? So all rehabs, and so the 10 or 20 grand that's coming out of his pocket to fix it up and then turn around and flip to the end buyer. If he has let's say 300,000 to just pay to keep on doing the rehabs, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how he's scaling or what his end goal or his strategy is over here. And so again, I know it's like a second hand, so we don't know all the details, but just trying to figure out from his perspective.
Yeah, no, that's good. Oh, it would probably be a good talk with him here. I was like, we were literally just on the phone, and he's like, I feel like I'm sort of running into a wall. And I was like, bro, I certainly can't teach a class on subject to, because I ain't never done one. So I don't know.
It seems interesting though. That's why I have so many questions, because Lance is doing. This is the exact same thing that Lance is doing. And he charges high interest to the new buyer, because these are buyers that can't qualify, right? So you can't get a loan, so they're his only option.
He's not doing subject to though. I think he's holding the whole property in his name, and so he's like, basically he has his capital stuck, but he's making a good cash flow on it, I think, from what I hear. Or I mean, his probably has private lenders at 7% or something like that. But I mean, I know Pace does a lot of stuff like that too, where you bring in the private lender, but then you kind of fill in the gap funding. I mean, sometimes you can keep it subject to, but if you own it free and clear, then your money's more expensive than bank money, but you're still cash flowing off the whatever, because the end buyers paying such a high interest, or paid such a high price over the retail purchase price.
Yeah, I think I remember Lance was saying something like that. It's like he maybe his cost may be high too, so he'll make a little bit on the cash flow, but really it's about the turn rate, I guess. And he's in a safe position because he's always going to be paying down the first. He's in control of that, but he still has equitable interest in the property. I don't know. I don't know it good enough. Maybe Kiko, I know you spent more time with Lance. Do you understand that strategy that he's using?
Yeah, Daniel's actually spot on. That's pretty much what he's doing. He's getting a pretty good rate on the property itself. He renovates it and then he sells it above market, but he holds the paper as the seller. And then he makes a huge spread there. But because of the fact that he's holding on as basically a seller financing deal, if the tenant who is the purchaser defaults in any way, he gets the house plus their deposit plus what they paid, and he has market appreciation. So, I mean, it's a pretty cool play, especially he's buying houses that are 100,000, putting in 20 grand. They're worth 250, you know, so he's already got equity in play. So it's pretty cool. But Daniel's spot on. I'm not sure that's exactly Jarred's situation, but it is something nice. I mean, 100,000 in Hawaii, that doesn't hit you on parking stall, you know. So it's not a play we often do in Hawaii, that's for sure.
Well, and guys too, with our new rental product that we've put out, there's no reason that we can't do both of these strategies for anybody with that product, because all we're going to be looking at is that product, that home, going to be able to debt service itself. From what it sounds like, all of these properties are going to have no issues debt servicing themselves, especially when the rate's going to be, it's going to be low fours to high fours. And possibly we might even be able to get into the high threes on our 30-year fixed. So there's no reason he couldn't just utilize us to leverage. And it could be a double close. We could do the fix and flip if needed, if it's heavy rehab. And then we could go in and throw it into a 30-year rental loan and allow him probably to recapture all the cash that he put in, get it out, because he's going to increase that value enough to where we should be able to refinance him, do a cash out, put him in a 30-year and let that property service itself. And then he's still, he's in first position. He doesn't actually own his own note, but he's still going to have the opportunity to make the spread, which will be the difference in what they're paying. And then at the same time, if he wanted to do a contract where it's almost like a for sale by owner and give them credit for partial payments that they make, that's all up to him and what he decides to do. But I think we can definitely figure out how to make it work for everybody.
Yeah, especially our capital partners are getting very aggressive in the long-term rental space, and they're competing against each other. We had another capital partner of ours lower their Resi LTR loans down to 3.75%. And this is for, not traditional bank loans, but we're approaching those rates now. And, so we forward it to our other guys, and those guys are going to drop their rates too, it sounds like. So it's not confirmed yet, but so the rates are going down for the long-term rental loans. Just low enough where we can jump in possibly. We would just have to understand all the logistics behind moving into a new kind of box like that, a new strategy. But
I'll connect him with you guys, Alex, and I'll make sure that he's here next week too. Maybe we can talk about it at the beginning.
Awesome.
That'd be great. Thanks, Jarred.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man. All right, guys. Anybody else have anything? What was that, Matt?
Just at the end of this, I'm curious what he's going to do with it in the long run. If he's going to switch over to Lance's style or overall what he's doing. Love to hear the outcome.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure people have been doing this for a while, but I've never heard of it until we met with
some guys I'm talking to in India too who are doing the exact same strategy. Some combination of the sub two or just carrying the note themselves, and then just trying to cash flow it to the Latino population who doesn't have W-2 income, but then they'll pay a higher than retail and with a down payment, etc. And so it seems like a good strategy in the Midwest to basically get better cash flow than you would normally in a normal long-term renter.
Yeah.
I think some guys doing similar in Florida about 10 years back. They went out of that game, but it was very similar to what you guys are describing.
It's such a great strategy when it comes to value add, right? Because there's a whole demographic of people that can't get qualified for whatever reasons. Hopefully they're legal, right? But even if you're a legal citizen and you're kind of new, you don't have a lot of reserves, you don't have credit, you don't have history and work. So this turns out to be a win-win thing when the person who can afford to buy a house can actually sell it as a seller financing. Of course, there's the whole part of, are they charging fair? Because some of these folks are, and Lance is not like that. I don't think any of us would be like that, but I know of some people who are gouging that end buyer, right? Because they're like, hey, if you really want this, you're going to pay twice of what rent is. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. But it is an interesting strategy for sure. Jarred, it probably would even work with your scenario with some sellers who may be interested in even selling a property, and then you're able to pay higher than market. So they might find it pretty attractive to sell it to you guys.
Yeah, it certainly sparked my interest. And to your point, I watched that too. One of his mentors that got him kind of started in this. I like to associate with guys where I have to like draw it out of them. It's okay to profit, right? That's my buddy James, where Junior, where I'm like, no, bro, like you need to make a bigger spread here. It's okay to profit. I don't like the guys who gouge, but I like to deal with people who you have to pull it out of them because they have a giving heart, and that's totally him. But that is an interesting thought. Yeah, we're grinding in our lane right now, man. It's one of those things where like I'm gonna stay right where I'm at for a little while, and then we'll look up for air once we get 100 houses or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I try to do that in Hawaii actually, on a seller finance or lease option on a condo in Waipahu. But like, so my experience, I didn't get any traction, at least in the one that I posted. So, but trying to see if it'll work in Hawaii, but maybe I'm just doing something wrong. So I don't know. We'll see.
Man, that would be crazy if you could pull it off though. Here.
So I posted it in just like Zillow for rent or for sale by owners, and like for rent, and like rent to own basically is what you're trying to do, right? And so like
right.
You don't qualify for a bank loan and stuff. And so I probably had maybe like 150 people inquire about it, and then. Well, this is like a little bit near COVID too, so that might have been a small factor, but only about like 10 people actually came to the property, and then other 10, like a bunch of them were confused on how it worked, and it was like a little confusing for like how does rent to own kind of work, and so but ended up just selling it retail. But it was just a experiment. So
that's awesome. So you literally put an ad out, but you had no product. It just
no. It was a flip that I was like, I should either flip this or try and sell it, cash flow as a rental / seller finance, and just try and see like what would be like if this is possible, because if this did work, then and also let's say I sold this to like an end buyer who was on a lease option or like a seller finance, then and then maybe there's a lot more interest to kind of build up a buyer's list in case to see this would work too in the future. But I was totally open to keeping it and selling on seller finance. It was just basically a flip that I would basically quote unquote burr, right? But the thing is, it just, for me, I guess it could be just like my marketing too, or whatever I was doing, but I couldn't find an buyer in Hawaii that was able to was interested in that particular thing. So
interesting. It is Hawaii. It's always an anomaly in Hawaii. All the rules don't apply to Hawaii.
I feel like we don't have a lot of we probably have less illegal workers here, but we still have a lot of guys who are just off the books too. But the thing is, I'm maybe my advertising needs to be in those communities, and so I don't know how I would get the advertising out to hey, contractors or whatever. We've got if you want to buy a house or something, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's more people than you would think, like the banks, they hate me, because I don't got W-2 income. I have a lot of debt in paper, but they don't look at the assets and really they look at DTI, or they only see that we get paid in chunks sometimes. And where is this money? So I've kind of given up, and we do all creative financing pretty much because we have to, especially when you're first starting out, but Steve, I think you were going to say something.
I was going to say, I actually have a borrower right now. We're trying to refinance him out of one of those loans where he did the seller financing.
Okay.
And on the contract, they put he cannot get out of it early. there is a prepayment penalty, and the private note holder isn't even responding to a payoff. He's like, I'll do the payoff, I'll pay the penalty, like you'll get all the interest you deserve, like I'll pay everything, but we're not even getting a response from the private note owner.
Wow. So what's the next step then?
Driving them nuts. He has a real estate lawyer involved, unfortunately, in this situation, because he's trying to refinance out of it. It's like, I think it's 5.5%, which he's not really getting gouged. I mean, 5.5 when you didn't qualify back in the day. That's a good rate.
Yeah.
But he's in much better position right now. He's looking at getting into a really good loan, cash, pull some of the equity out. But the private note owner is not responding. People that are doing that business. But yeah, this one's kind of like driving this guy nuts. He's like, hey, I'm qualified. I'm ready to get out of this. And no, he can't. He's like stuck and he has to wait.
Gosh, that's scary. Like, when what was it? I think it might have even been right when COVID was happening. We were trying to refinance out. We had a loan with 5 Arch, which got bought out by I forget the company. I don't think it was Redwood. I think Redwood owned Civic. But anyways, Corvest, yeah. But who's the hedge fund behind that, or the big fund behind that? They're publicly traded.
It's not Blackstone, that one.
No, I think it was like Redwood Trust. I think, unless that was.
Yeah, I think it's Redwood. Yep.
But yeah, it was Redwood exactly, because Civics was owned by Woodbridge or something like that. Anyways, so we were watching the stock of Redwood just free fall down. Like it went from like maybe, I think it was like $26 a share, and then it went down to like $1. And our fear was that they would go upside down and we wouldn't be able to get payoffs, as we're trying to refinance these loans out. So that could be a big problem. I see how that's a concern of your client, Steve, and yourself, because that could be a big, big problem. And it just reminds me, like a year ago, when we were just a year in with our fund, Keiko Capital, and it was just such a hard time, because there was so much uncertainty. The financial markets froze. There was no liquidity in the markets anymore. A lot of lenders just shut their doors. Some never reopened. We got left at the table. For our capital partners had to close their doors as well. So looking back then and then today, the way I feel like it was a lot of survival mode. Like we were on defense for a year, and more recently, things have opened up again. We're doing very well. We had our best month last month, and we're actually in a position to start scaling real heavy. So I wanted to put it out there to the group that 2 things. One, we're going to be looking to cultivate and train loan officers to help us. And where would you guys recommend looking first? Obviously, we're not looking for any studs that, straight out of college or anything like that. We just want people who are hungry, willing to learn, who fit our culture, So that's my first question to the group. Second question is, pretty soon we will be, as we're building out this team, that if anybody knows anyone that, may fit our culture, because we have the same culture as in our companies that we have here on Coffee Talk. So we're going to be actively looking for people who are hungry and willing to learn, who have the same kind of attitude that we do, to grow with us. So if there's any recommendations there, we'd love to, we value everyone who's on the call. It's like family here. So anybody who recommends them, we're going to look there first. But if you guys have any ideas of where we would look.
Are you looking for the loan officers who are going to bring business, or are you looking for loan officers who are just going to process the loans?
To bring business.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be
looking salesmen
as well. But
some of that, because like a different skill set, right? If you're like loan off, because there's some loan, because then you guys are going to get some like just your own marketing, or like organically you're going to get leads and people are going to come to you for loans. And so if you want the guys who are just going to process the loans, I know another guy, he runs a mortgage company. He says like military wives are like has been a real gold mine for him. Like for whatever reason, I guess they're at home, they need some side income, and they work hard, and like you can do it remotely. So for him, he said like they got some real winners off like the people's wives for whatever reason who are like to process the loans, but they're not going to bring in the business, right? But it's like if you just want somebody who, because you're gonna have some loans that are brought in by like the money, the rainmaker guys, then you're gonna have some like your website or your name alone is gonna like bring people to your business too. Yeah. So.
Right. Yep. Okay, that's a great idea. I never thought of that.
Yeah. The other, normally you want salesmen, so you look for people like Matt. Because I'm looking at building, our team that we have here. Serious salesmen, people that are, they have that sales in their genes type thing, then they'll be able to do really well in the business. You could teach them, they can get licensed, they can learn that part, or, they're just the go get them salesmen. And then you just have a good back end team to cover, close all the loopholes, make sure everything's legal. And, you let them just go out there and sell and do their job. I found that's probably better than finding someone who, they sit at their desk. They're not the ones that are going to get you loans.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I've seen a lot of people go after like the Rocket Mortgage guys. That's kind of like the McDonald's of the loan industry.
Okay.
But, but a lot of those guys, they're hardcore, closers type thing. Some of them may be a little too car salesman ish.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that.
But yeah. So I mean, but some of those, it's like, hey, sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
In the industry. So
two of the best guys
Matt and I are actually
used car salesmen, ex-used car salesmen.
Right. Yeah.
We had a guy come
and
in.
I know
and he didn't even know what he was talking about. He had absolutely no clue. First day, and he got like 4 deals. I was just like, and then he got a guy to do a non-refundable $36,000 deposit on a massive development deal. And I was like, how? And I was listening to him tell this guy, he's just like, yeah, man, I mean, this is what you're gonna have to do. I'm gonna need that 36 grand. You need to go wire it today, and I'll have a term sheet out. And the dude did it. He wired the 36,000, term sheet went out, and he closed the deal. And I was like, how did you do that, dude? You don't even know anything. Right? You didn't know the answers to the questions, but you knew how to sell. So I believe 100% what you're saying. A good salesman, no matter what they're selling, is going to be able to sell.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at Texas, I know some folks too.
Nice.
If you're looking at bringing on
two things quickly is I'm gonna connect you guys with my buddy Thomas Snedden. Like my word for 2021 is alignment and aligning my life with people that have the same heart as I do. I don't think it's an accident I ended up on with you guys and in this call. But Tom Snedden is an absolute crusher, and alignment in this. I don't think it's an accident. That somebody just brought up used car salesman. My buddy Tom is just an absolute stud, and he was the director of sales up here for Dwayne Lanes for quite a while, and he got out of it because he just kind of felt a little greasy, and he's a recovered addict, and there's a lot of drugs and stuff going on in the car sales business, so he felt like he had to get out of it. He's actually moving to Arizona right now, and he's a crusher. I'll connect you guys. Secondly is I don't know if I even told you guys this, but I took a job when we started building our company. I took a job as an LO with Certain Lending as they were growing, and it took Charles a good 6 months to convince me to do it. I was like, bro, I don't do your time, I don't do your mission, I don't do your vision. I do my time, my mission, my vision. I'm a mission-driven person. I don't necessarily have time for your goals. And it took him like 6 months. And he actually, when I was in San Francisco, him and Shreyas put something on the board, and he's like, all right, look, bro, you're going to have to look at our offer that we're making you, and you're going to have to take this home, and you're going to have to make your wife say no to this offer. You can't say no today. I'm like, oh, shit. So it was a pretty good offer. And I took that job after a while. I was like, all right, look, this could work to really build my cash flow while we're building this portfolio. And he was in line where he wanted experienced investors to work for him because he knew I could handle deals and figure out different types of deals, things like that. And finally, I took that alignment and I started work for him on March 11th last year, and I got laid off on March 26th.
Oh wow!
Crazy timing.
Dude, it was really shitty timing, but it was actually kind of amazing timing where like all the things I said to him about my mission, my vision, all those things, I had to go back to the drawing board and be like, all right, where am I at in this thing? What am I doing? I had like this plan of, I'm going to have a bunch of money coming in from certain lending so I can continue to build up our portfolio, those sorts of things. But so you guys, we've been analyzing capital for a couple of weeks now. I came to you guys and said that we're going to do that. So we're rolling with you guys. That's kind of where we're at. So
love it.
So we're gearing up. I've got to talk to you guys about kind of where we're going and make sure that that's good. We've got a lot of houses to buy outside of Chicago and a lot of houses to buy in Florida here coming up. So we're just going to kind of jump into that and roll at the same time. There's a lot of people that I come across who just don't even understand asset-based lending at all, or even that it's an option for them to scale with. Mm-hmm. And so, we'll talk some more offline about how we find alignment there and figure out that. And I keep business coming to you guys.
That would be great, man. Thank you, Jarred. Thank you for always supporting, man. Appreciate it. And one thing,
we should make Jarred a what do you call it? A
honorary
independent loan officer in Texas.
Like I said, I don't have time for your. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you know your worth, man, and that's why it's we've been recruiting. Is Greg on the call right now? Because he's about to talk about him. We've been recruiting the guy who trained Alex actually. He was on one of our calls when Alex was presenting, but we're trying to get him on board for like the longest time, flying him out here. Alex is taking him around and stuff. And he's a great guy and he has a lot of capacity. And I'm even thinking, even if we bring him on, that's a huge win. Great. That's awesome. But now it's like, okay, now we have to have the infrastructure in place to support his business, the business that he'll generate. So, the ball's in our court, the responsibilities in our court to make sure that we bring on good people who have the same values as ourselves and is not afraid to pick up the phone and close some deals. So that's what we're looking for. But yeah, thanks, Jarred, for all your support. Keiko, you got any final words or kind of running past 11?
Who do you guys want me to connect Tom with? That's the next question. Because Tom, he basically came to me. He goes, look, I sold my house, made plenty of money up here, and then we're buying something a lot cheaper in Arizona. So he's kind of set and in a stable position, and like was really looking to kind of be his own boss moving forward necessarily, And I was like, dude, if I had to redo it, I would get into lending because I would get into an asset-based lending. I literally said that to him last week. I was like, that way you're gonna be able to, if you figure out the money side of real estate and figure out different ways that deals move and figure out how to fund different deals, then you're gonna figure out how to do your own deals. And so we literally had that conversation next week. But I want to, whoever I'm supposed to connect him with, let me know.
And look, it's not like these people have to work inside our company. They can always broker to us, if they learn that side, and we can help with the training, on that end, because the more people, it's just like on the real estate side, the more people who understand how to flip a house or, do some development, that's the more opportunity for us to work closer and closer together and like that saying, right? A rising tide raises all ships. So we can help, train, even if he doesn't want to be within the company, that's fine too. Main thing is we do business. We're doing deals, right? So
Jarred, connect them with Corey and I.
Yeah, okay. Me and Alex.
Alex, drop your email in there so Jarred's got it easy.
I got Alex's. I don't think I have Corey's.
Oh, you don't have mine?
I'll drop both of them.
Cool.
Hey, two quick things on finding new LOs. First and foremost, there's a bunch of Facebook pages out there for brand new LOs just to talk and I've seen a lot of people recruit from there because most of the companies out there, mortgage companies, they won't hire you unless you have the license. So most of these people are getting it first and then finding a job later. So that's a great way to find some new people. Alternatively, I've had a lot of success in talking to investors about coming over and being an LO, mainly because they already know the finances, they know the back end, and that's the important part of it. By all means, it's a lot of customer service and working with people. You work with a lot of different scenarios and you pull out a lot of skeletons and talk about it. But understanding the finances and being able to confidently talk about that with a borrower is really key.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. That's a great record. Do you remember the names of these groups at all or no?
Yeah, I could shoot you a few of them.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, brother.
Absolutely.
Blaze wife sounds like a good option too. She sounds
Blaze.
as Daniel
Blaze
said,
on?
she sounds like she's a closer.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
Nice.
There we go.
Oh, Blaze is also asking about if anyone's good with A2 zoned apartment deals. He has an off-market one.
Oh, that's good. A2 meaning Ag 2?
No, apartment 2 zoning, A2 zoning here. So you can have, oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. I'm at the car place getting some service done. Yeah, 18 zoning, so small, medium density apartments. The one in Makiki is can go up to 60 feet. We want to go maybe 4 stories, but man, that house, since it's in Makiki, it's stupid expensive. It's already valued around 1.8 million. And of course, the build is going to be 2.5 probably million at least, or 2 to 2.5 million. But yeah, is there anybody on the on the call who's I guess good at zoning and that kind of apartment zoning, I guess?
So Alex and I know someone who's, I don't know if he is already, or will be the chairman of the Bill 7 committee, which deals a lot with A2 zoning. So actually, I think we have a deal working with him right now that we're looking at. So perhaps we can kind of get some of your questions answered, please. But give me a call or something later on today or over the weekend, whenever you have time.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I figured I'd bring it up since the meeting's here already.
Yeah.
It sprung up on us a little sooner than we thought. We thought we had maybe a year to work a seller finance with this lady for Makiki, but it sounds like she wants to go to do that one first, and she wants to push on that if she can get it. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Right on. Thanks, Pace. All right, guys. Well, Kiko, do you have anything for the group?
No, we're good. It's Friday afternoon. Let's go grab coffee or a nap. I'm ready for a nap.
Oh, right on, guys. Thanks for jumping on again for a Friday. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I'm gonna hang out for a couple of minutes if anyone wants to talk story after the call. But either way, enjoy your weekend and we'll see you next week. Aloha Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Aloha.